I love how everyone has their reaction gifs and images just on standby, just ready to go. But okay, so Zig, what was your story about recording?
Yeah, okay. So my story was this week we had this weird awards show. It was on Wednesday, I believe it was. So I hosted a weird awards show on Royal Orbis News, Ron. Um, and that has its own funny things that go along with it. But I did the recording because I was too lazy to ask anybody. And my headphones do this weird thing where every time I mute, it'll say mic on, mic off, mic on, mic off. And I thought that I was the only one that would hear that, but turns out it's all over the place in the recording, and it's like super distracting. I turned it off on my desktop, but my laptop, I forgot to do that. Anyways, so now that's kind of a running joke that people keep sending me.
So now you hosted like a rewards thing. So what were the results of the rewards?
Yeah, so the awards. So that was an interesting thing. So the awards were. It was a awards show that it was awards thing that was started. It was how do you put this? It was funded by Rothschild. Rothschild. It was funded by Rothschild. And they gave out $1 billion to SRD as a peace prize for winning the peace prize, and they gave $1 billion to the guy who runs TOES, the Orbis Stock Exchange, and 500 million to Borg for doing Locutus, and they did 500 million to Krampus for running Royal Orbis News. And the funny part about that is Krampus won $500 million for Ron. Ron was the host. Ron was also the people that were voting on the people who would win.
Yeah.
It was the most self-congratulatory thing ever. It was And yeah, it was 100%. Every one of those people that got money was already really rich. So it was a rich alliance that needed to spend money, and so they decided to spend money on a bunch of rich people and run a show.
I mean, it
I
sounds like real life, to be honest.
Yeah, and none of them had enough personality to do it themselves, so they hired me. Which is pretty sad if I have more personality.
Yeah, it really is. No, no, no disrespect. All right. So, welcome to the April 30th. It is the 30th. April 30th episode of Thalmor Radio. I am your host, Thalmor, coming to you live, not from a valley in the countryside, but actually from the trailer. The connection is apparently stable, but thankfully it is warm outside. So if I had to retreat outside for the internet, I could. But it does not appear as if that is the case. Now, I'm getting some feedback from someone. Someone has needs to probably put themselves on push to talk if they're not already. Okay. Shifty, can you put yourself on push to talk? Okay, I believe he has, so that's good. Oh.
What?
Can you put yourself on push to talk real quick?
Okay. Give me a sec. Or let me get my headphones.
Yeah, headphones works too, I think. So, couple things to go over. First off, I'm going to yap my gums about nothing in particular. So first thing would be... Hold on, he added a topic. Who is it? Okay. Okay, I will cover that, Zig. First thing is, Attack on Titan Season 4. So I had my friends over the weekend, and we watched Attack on Titan. And it's a bit of a tradition among us is that whenever a full season of Attack on Titan English dub is released, we sit down, we binge watch it. And so we did that for season 4 last weekend. We started middle of the day, Saturday, about 6 p.m., and this went on until I guess about 1 a.m. So we had pizza. It was a lot of fun. And we had some technical difficulties because I don't have internet. And so my friend brought a jetpack that he uses for school, and we used that. And it still had problems. We could only watch the show at like 540p, and it still have to buffer like 2 or 3 times throughout the whole show. So it was pretty cringe, but we managed to watch the whole thing in decent enough quality. And it was a really, really, really fun time. I don't know. Well, I know why. It's just everything about the show. But, Attack on Titan is one of those shows where, you watch one episode and you just have to watch the next. There is no stopping. It's just so engaging. Season 4 starts off focusing on some new characters. There's a big action sequence that takes place over the course of a bunch of episodes. And then it goes a lot about like intrigue and plotting and what's this guy's true motivation and stuff. So it's pretty good. Fun time. We did not watch the last 2 episodes because the English dub was not released, so we won't actually finish the first half of the season until, I guess, a couple of months from now when they come over again. And the final half of Attack on Titan Season 4 will be coming out next year. So still some time to go before it's over with. The manga ended, I think, a month or 2 ago, so it's finally over. After like 11 years, the franchise is finally over. And I will be discussing Swamp here shortly. Don't worry. Morph is in the chat. He's upset that I've nuked him twice. There is no peace. Is Morph here? Is he listening? I don't think he is. He's not listening. I'm going to respond to him.
Respond to him with a nuke.
I think that's a great idea. That's what I'm going to do. There
You guys weren't on yesterday when I was drunk and I was doing my Shrek, my donkey from Shrek impression, which apparently is pretty good because Coin Return thought it was pretty good, and then today when my sister called me, I was all like, I did it, and then she was like, "What the fuck?" It's actually pretty decent, but I'll do it eventually once we get the swamp.
So, go watch Attack on Titan if you haven't. It's really good. If you're into anime at all. But, okay, next thing I want to talk about is I went out today. Like I said, I went out, I got Chick-fil-A, but I did some other stuff. I went to Walmart. But I discovered 2 things that were interesting, and that is that Kentucky can be a very trashy place. And I discovered this through the car decals I encountered in person, and I will show them. I will go quiet as these upload, but I want to show off these car decals. Okay, so the first one is on the back of a truck. And funny enough, this truck here in the first image is the truck that I dumped all of my Chick-fil-A at when the bag spilled open. But it's got a big decal on the right left that says locally hated. It's got a similar decal like on the side next to the driver door. And then on the right it says rubbin' and thuggin'. And you cannot see it from the angle, but below the decal that's below that, he has his Snapchat and Instagram names on there as well. His name is like Landon something. I didn't take a picture of that because I don't give a shit who it is. It's just funny.
Oh my god. So basically he's like a redneck, like bro trucker that's all like, yeah bro, I got my 5.7 liter Chevy, man. Yeah, I put glass packs on it and I'm like, doing redneck shit. Oh god. Oh god.
Well, whatever the meaning is, the reality is that he is very badass and very cool. And then when I went to Walmart, there was this car we parked next to, and the car had this decal on the back. It's some fucking little alien guy with like darts stuck around him,
Oh,
like he's
that's
been shot
Deadpool.
by darts. Oh, it's Deadpool. Okay, I
It's
didn't
a baby
know.
Deadpool.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you, Shifty. I see it now. Yeah, that's Deadpool. And it says next to him, there's like hella kitty. There's like hella kids in here.
You know, I probably bet if she has a Mercury Mariner and has that, she's probably one of those hot but trashy moms. Anyone?
Maybe. So maybe I did not see these people. By the time we did our shopping and come back out, they were gone, long gone. So I don't know what the people looked like. All I know is that they have hella kids apparently. So and I'm sorry I didn't recognize Deadpool, but this version of Deadpool is like a cartoon and looks like a kid.
But there's
Okay?
a whole about him turning into a kid, and then Cable was that the one where Cable has to raise him, or he raises Kid Cable? I forgot. There's one of them where there's like a whole timeline fuck up. Someone here probably remembers better than I do. It was a little while ago that I read it.
Well, I'm very uncultured, so who knows what I know? I know nothing. But it was very trashy and very funny, and it makes me laugh. So that's it. That's all I got to say about my internals. I'm going to now talk about the game because I actually I was very scared that I wouldn't have anything to talk about, but the truth is that I do have a number of things to talk about. So that's what I'll do. So first off, there's this guy named Luna. Okay, is Luna his name or was that the name of the alliance? I think it's his name. Is Luna something? And Luna something has been making a lot of posts on the forums lately, and it's really funny. I think he made like a declaration of existence and then announced his disbandment and then made a thread about how even though they disbanded, they're still a part of this treaty or something. And then he made a thread announcing a news network, and I think he may have made one or other two threads. I don't follow it because I have better things to do with my life, like taking pictures of trashy car decals. But yeah, all I knew is that he was spamming the forums, and apparently he's gotten lots of upvotes for some reason because he has like 117 score now or something. So people keep laughing at him and upvoting him. David has asked for a link. I cannot provide a link. It's just all go look at Alliance Affairs and Orbis Central, and you will be able to find them. They've all been posted over the past like week and a half. So kind of weird. I hope he stops making threads because they're very cringe and annoying. Captain Crunch, I believe, left his alliance and is nuke-roguing and attacking people at random. And I think that's really cool. And I want to publicly praise him for it because that kind of like chaotic, have fun attitude is a really important thing that this game needs. And like he made a target list. He made a hit list and uploaded it. And I am not on there, which is probably good. Not that I care to fight him, but because I'm a shitty target anyways, because I have nothing worth blowing up. So he's going around hitting people and nuking them. That's pretty based.
And making
I
car
guess,
bombs.
And making car bombs, yes. He has the fertilizer, he has the pressure cookers, he's making the bombs.
And the ball
Be
bearings.
careful. And the ball bearings. Be careful if you go to down this, it might be dangerous. But
Turn my 2001 Honda Civic into a car bomb, I must.
Captain Crunch has gone insane and he is literally a terrorist. So, that's cool of him. I hope he has a fun time. I hope he makes a lot of people lose a lot of info because that's funny. I guess it's become something of a tradition that I give some kind of advice every episode. So this is my advice for this episode. I forgot what it was going to be. Hold on. Give me a second here. I think my advice was going to be have fun and blow things up if you want to. There you go. That's the advice. You want to hit someone, you want to blow up their infra, just go for it. Just do it. Just do it. Have fun. You only play once. You only play once. So there you go. Other thing I want to talk about was, okay, Zig uploaded an itinerary with this in. I don't know what it means. So I'm going, Zig, you say it's spam has a new name. What does that mean?
Spam has a new name. I've wanted to talk about my hot take with regards to the new update. So Sheepy brought up Sheepy finally integrated the world news feature, which a lot of people, a lot of the like really experienced players, when they saw that, it seems like everyone's just been seething that he did that. Like, it seems like all of the experienced players just absolutely hate it. All the people that are on Discord every day, and that go onto the forums to post about serious business, they all seem to hate it. And I honestly think it's an awesome addition to the game. Because it already is providing a outlet for people that otherwise does not exist. Part of it's the role play, which people I know for a fact that people have wanted to do for a long time. But honestly, the forums are terrible for that. It's and this is actually a pretty good design to do role play. And more importantly, I think it's a great way. I think it's a great update because you can literally just shout into the void, and no one's gonna come at you and say, "Hey, don't post here. Stop it. You're dumb. This is for serious business," like we do to Luna this week, or to there's now a feature for people like Phoenix to go on and just like post these crazy rants, and they finally can do it, and people don't have to look. They only look if they care.
Yeah,
that's my opinion.
You say people have been upset about it, like experienced players. I haven't seen that, but I'm also inactive and don't know anything. But I don't care. I think this is fine. Yeah, I'm perfectly fine with more options for people to role play. Like the fact book. Like, no one uses the fact book except for a couple people who role play. But I think that's fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with people having more options. And also, at some point, we're going to get some kind of funny meme from one of them. Like, I uploaded this one picture right now of this one bulletin I saw yesterday, and it's got like an armored personnel carrier with a bunch of Arabic text, and it mentions KT and Horsecock, and it's really funny. Probably because I don't know what it's even about. So, I think it's perfectly fine. Use bulletins. I'm probably going to meme in a bulletin. I think there's potential for them. It's perfectly fine. And also, where even is Phoenix? I haven't seen him around in a while. Does he still play?
Yeah, Phoenix still plays. I saw him and talked to him not long ago. He's been pretty quiet because of IRL things, as far as I know. He's been having a tough time, I think.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, I don't know the details, but I know he was. There was, I think one of his close friends was sick or something like that. But
oh yeah, I vaguely remember something like that. Well, I hope things get better for him.
Yeah, I do too. As much as people like hating on him, I do enjoy him quite a bit. Just to respond to you and Nokia. First of all, the people that were complaining is because they have all these ideas. They have all these things that they planned on getting implemented in the game, and then Alex comes out with this that doesn't affect gameplay at all. And
that
some
makes
people were
sense.
pretty angry at that. But in reality, this is an idea that he's had in his back pocket since like mid-January. We started testing this back in mid-January. To answer Nokia about Nokia didn't like it because Phoenix spam is old. But my point in that is that Phoenix has a place for that, and no one's ever going to see it unless they want to look for it.
Yeah.
I also I want to while we're talking about it, I do want to post the link for any of you Alliance leaders. I think anyone in the entire Alliance can post this, which is really dangerous, which is why I want all of you to do it. So if you go to this link, you can post Alliance bulletins. I'm pretty sure anyone can post the Alliance bulletins. So do it. Okay, that's all. Thank you all for listening.
I'm going to. What's an excerpt? Okay, headline, excerpt. Oh no, IR not good with. Not good with computer. Author is Supreme General Thalmor. Content. Guys, what's the content? What should I put in this thing I'm gonna make? What's a funny thing? I killed Jeffrey Epstein. There we go. Okay, what happens? Content cannot be less than 300 characters. Fuck this! Okay, well, I'm not doing it then. I'm not making an excerpt, so that's fine.
Just post the itinerary a few times.
About the nukes.
Oh yeah.
Oh
That's good.
yes, there we go. Okay, headline.
Are you doing this in the Alliance one?
Yeah, that link. Response to Morph whining about me nuking him. I have crafted a well thought out response. Author is me. Hold on. No, I got better. No, that's author. I am happy to have nuked. I'm happy to have nuked you twice. The image of your nation's people burning like the popcorn in my microwave was. I keep messing up. When my microwave was funny, they looked like raisins when they were done. I spelled raisins wrong. I'm going to leave it. You know what? I'm not going to correct it. I'm going to leave it misspelled. Fuck! I exited. Okay, I will do this later because it's not working. I can't. Oh, that's fine. I will do this later. Thank you, Zig, for pointing that out. I'm going to actually pin that link because I want to make one, and I will make it after the show.
So the problem is that Arctic says that it doesn't work. I know it works for some people. I don't know if he did a cutoff or what level is the cutoff, because right now there's no link to actually go to the Alliance things. There's no button in game. You actually have to follow the link that I posted. But BK and a number of other people have posted it because of my link. Okay, anyways, moving on.
It seems like Alex really like half-assed implementation of this.
Absolutely. He did not change a single thing from when we tested it in mid-January, even though we had a whole bunch of comments about it. If I remember right, you can't actually report stuff. I think someone said that yesterday. You can't even report the really crude something that somebody posted, which is real dangerous because you can embed pictures and stuff in there.
In game, I think I'm in the air position for KT, so I will try one more time to post this thing properly. But in the meantime, I'm going to talk about the Cami people joining the wet sand. And so Camelot left Rose last week, and everyone was like, well, what the fuck are they doing? And now we have an answer. They were joining Oasis. Now, I was on a show with Morph and Pika with Kev last Friday. In fact, a lot of you were there for it. And this came up. And Kev asked me and Morph, what do you think Camelot's doing? And Morph had a very well thought out response with like, okay, well, Camelot is militarized, Oasis militarized, da 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 da. And my response was, I don't fucking know what they're doing. Why do you expect me to have a good answer to this? And so once Morph though explained why he thought they were going to Oasis, that made perfect sense to me, and I said, yeah, I can see that. So Camelot made a thread. I think it was Saturday. Yeah, I think it was Saturday. And they said, hey, look, now we're part of Oasis. I did not read the thread. I don't know what all was said about that, but yep, that's the deal now. And good for them. Does anybody know why they joined Oasis though? Because that's my curious. Did they have a falling out with Rose? Did they just try to change something? What's the deal? Does anybody know? 'Cause I don't know, but whatever. That's okay. Let's just ask. Okay, is the person? Oh, Epi's here. Epi, why did you guys leave Rose to join Oasis? What happened? What happened, bud? Epi says, good question, we answered it already. How about you type it in chat, because I can look up chat very easily, whereas it's going to be slightly harder for me to go to the forum. And also, did they even answer? Actually, yeah, unmute Epi. That would be better. If he feels like talking. Epi says, oh, okay, 1 minute. So Epi's coming on. Unless Uriah, unless you want to come in his place. You both can come on. I don't care, that's fine.
I had the same question last night at Morphs, and I was actually DM'd by who was it, Vex, and she said she'd explain it if they didn't get back to it. But
It's actually pretty large. They say a lot of stuff. It's from a lot of different people, and I'm pretty sure we're about to get a war out of it because of it. And I'm pretty sure if you're in Gov in Swamp, you probably have a headache right now. Hannah, very early in the logs, Hannah was like, this is bullshit. This is like crazy. I'm out of here. And I thought that was really funny. So yeah. Now I didn't fully like cover the logs, but they seem to be very encompassing. There seems to be a lot of stuff there. And so Arctic or Zik, when you go ahead and unmute James and I can talk to him about these logs here.
Yep, you're unmuted.
James, bud, you there?
Good evening.
Greetings. So what do you make of this, bud?
Oh, it's fantastic. It is an absolute shit show, and everybody can just thank TLE and Atlan and that wonderful group of people they have over there. I it's really not, the rest of Swamp. It's really all TLE. It's awesome. And it's great because TLE has absolutely nothing to back it up with. They are the biggest example of all bark and zero bite.
Out of all the logs, do you have a particular favorite part?
No, I mean, you know what? It's all just so amazing collectively. I mean, Arctic's got a good point there. The Sphinx no leak part, and then it's immediately leaked. That is just fucking gold. That's awesome.
Well, I guess that's my next question. How recent are these logs, and do we have any idea how they got leaked? Or is it just there's so many people, who the hell knows?
Well, some of them they're around the end of the nap, because we'd heard about it.
Gotcha.
And I'm pretty sure in some of them the date is on the timestamp because that's how old they are. They weren't screenshotted then; they were screenshotted, not long ago. I guess.
Yeah. So how many people were able to see these logs? Because, I mean, it just seems like when you have a big block with all these government members, it's just the more people you add to a conspiracy, the more likely it is that information is going to get out. So managing these big block chats just seemed like a nightmare, and from a security standpoint.
Well, when we were in Swamp, it was basically just the upper tier leadership of all the alliances in the core, just in Swamp proper. So, you have the three leaders from And, you got the two or three people from FARC. I guess since TLE's running the show, they get however many people they want in there, and the others get like two people in there. So it's probably like 16 people in there, maybe 10. I mean, we had no leaks when we were there. Nothing ever leaked from that channel because that's supposed to be as high as it goes over there if nothing has changed.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it was pretty obvious that with Swamp, it was TI and TFP who was the real weight there. And once you guys split off, there wasn't really much left, I don't think.
It's we could see when we left, we kind of figured it was either going to be And or TLE, and it looks more like it ended up being TLE, and you can see what a disaster it's been since then. I mean, it's pretty awesome to see somebody get screwed, get seen shit talking their allies and two separate spheres all in the same leak. I mean, that is a great leak.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. That was a fun thing to read in the car earlier today, those logs were. Tyrion, I want to know, do you have anything you want to add on to this there in chat? So, I believe I saw a Ron report earlier. Swamp was militarizing. I think, was it Oasis who were also militarizing? I don't know. I think we're going to see some action come out of this. That's going to be fun. Looks like the global
We've already
wars...
been militarized, so it's just Swamp that's militarizing.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, that is right. Thanks for clarifying. So I think we're going to see something happen. That's going to be funny. We'll probably never know who the leaker was. Maybe we'll see. And there's that. Thank you, Shifty, for making another great SNN. I screenshotted this earlier. When I first saw the thread, it was only up for about 25 minutes when I took the screenshot. But there was 91 people checking it out 25 minutes after it went up. So that's pretty cool. It probably broke over 100 at its peak. But people wanted to see what it was. I think people thought it was very interesting. Tyrion says leaker. So Putmir is the leaker? Is that what you're saying, Tyrion? Panky, you believe? Okay, gotcha. Panky isn't here. Panky said in chat earlier that he was busy with something, so he can't. I can't ask him right now, but that's fine. And I think that's about it. I think for game stuff. I don't have anything in real life to talk about except India seems to be having a lot of problems right now with COVID. Over the past month, COVID has really exploded over there. Just went from like 10,000 new cases a day to like 300,000 new cases a day. I think it's because there's a new strain or something. Anyways, it's killing a lot of people. It's pretty rough. There's a lot of Indians who play this game. Babai is Indian. Jockey is Indian. A KT member, Karen, is Indian. Lots of Indians. So you Indic members of the community, you guys be careful. I'm so sorry to hear that, Flavy. That sucks, man. Yeah, that's raw. So y'all stay safe and be careful. Vice says, really, you spend more time talking about car stickers than the leaks? I have more to say about the car stickers than I do the leaks. Like, Vice, do you want to be unmuted? Do you want to come on and dissect these leaks some more? Like, I will let you do that if you can. If you're willing to. If anyone else is willing to, I will. Vice says I have to change rooms. Well, if you're willing to change rooms, then come on. This can be arranged.
Yeah. Let's make it happen.
Yeah, we can do it. Didn't they say Swamp? I'm not aware of any money coming from Swamp to hit Quack. I'm not aware of anything like that. I cannot like positively deny it only because I'm not part of the offshores. So the money probably would have went to the offshores. I don't know what they look like. So if you really want an answer, go ask Dennison. But I can't say it one way or another. Only that I haven't heard of anything like that, and I think I would have. Okay, Vice, you there, bud? Vice says 1 second. Okay. While Vice gets ready, is there any other real life news I need to go into before I bring on Vice? Did anything else happen that's worth me talking about? I don't think anything really did.
I gotta say, I kind of feel like what's that Tiger King guy? With that India situation, there's a Indian postdoc from Maharashtra, I think it's called, which is like one of the hardest hit areas, and we're trying to get him to come, and we've been trying for a while, and it's like shut down right now, right when he's about to come. And it makes me feel kind of like, I think it was Tiger King guy, who's like, I'll never recover from this financially. The Indians are like absolutely suffering, and I absolutely my only thought is basically like, man, I wish we could get this guy in so he could do some work. I feel bad about that.
Let me pull up the forum post really quick because there was just a lot going on there.
Yeah, welcome, Vice.
Hey, what's
The
going on?
links are fairly extensive, and yes, welcome, Vice.
I saw him when I pulled into my driveway, and got a ping on my phone, and so I took a peek at it, and I just sat there in my car looking at it for like 15 minutes. I was like, all right, screw this. I got to go in and get a laptop because it looks like these screenshots were taken in 1999. I'm on Ron. Is it in leaks? Or
Yeah,
is
it's
it
in
normal?
leaks on Ron. Leaks and rumors.
Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay, so it looks like they want to hit Oasis. It's a 3-2 vote right now, waiting on FARC. So that means 3 alliances, I presume, would be TLE, probably whatever the communist alliance is, and then the Commonwealth probably voted in favor, and then I bet ampersand and the Federation probably voted for it. So there's your 3, and then I imagine ampersand and probably someone else vetoed it, and then FARC was, I don't know, probably sitting on their hands. And then it says, what happens if we tie? So it looks like they couldn't even get on board to attack us all, which, everyone is kind of, I don't know. It's like, what's the best way to put this? They can't even get on the same page, like offensively. And so this is partly the reason why Oasis is taking a defensive stance, because it's easy if someone attacks you to get everyone on board to respond. But like to try and get everyone on board to attack is like, you're clearly seeing like a huge struggle here. And so that's like the first screenshot is they had a vote whether to attack Oasis or not, is what it looks like. They called TI members retarded, which again, that's just beef, probably back from when Swamp was, in its older days.
And I had theorized this. I had said this when the split happened. I bet the rest of the block doesn't like TI and TFP because they're jealous of the difference in competency. And I think I was right.
Yeah,
Go on, Vice.
I mean, when we were doing Morph Radio last night, someone asked the new block who they would sign. And we were all expecting them to say, oh, we'd sign Rose or we'd sign Grumpy. And it was Dave from SMC. And he goes, I would like to sign Gato, Gato. And everyone was like, why? And not that they're bad, but just like, that's not everyone's normal first pick. And he goes, well, power dynamics, because if we were to bring in a top 20 alliance, he goes, they would then come in and dictate everything. And so I think it's really important when you guys are doing blocks, potentially like how Camelot came to Oasis. I think it's really important that you guys are all sort of on the same page, and then also sort of pulling the wagon in the same direction and equally pulling your weight and equally having influence. And here you have, at the time, someone who was dictating. Again, this is before my time, so this is hearsay and what I read on forum posts and gather from people who are not even in either of the blocks now that are just have reflected with me, that we had alliances that were militarily calling major decisions and then not carrying their weight, and they were dictating the direction of Swamp. And yes, we wanted to go off and do our own thing. Like, why would you not want to be able to be the leader of your block and build something from the ground up? It's fun, it's exciting, it's new. But I mean, if I'm just using Rose, for example, because they're at the top. This is nothing related to them. But if I was Rose and then Alice was like, yo, let's go fuck up Swamp, I'd be like, well, we'll decide when we want to go mess up Swamp, right? And so power dynamics is absolutely a real thing. And it looks like clearly TLE is the one who wants to drive Swamp right now. And they're just having trouble getting everyone on board. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. I mean, it talked about, and maybe I misread it because there's, again, so much stuff here, so don't quote me on this, but I do feel like I read at some point they were saying they paid KT to hit a Nexus alliance. I don't remember who it was. And then they said after the next war, they were going to roll Carthago or whatever, which I thought was interesting. they wanted to 1v1 the order, which I'm not entirely sure what that's about. That must be before my time. Maybe some beef before I even entered the scene. Does anyone know like what the deal with that was? Like, what's TLE's deal with the order?
Let's see. The order was Terminus. Who merged with Terminus?
Imperium and Termest. It was Imperium and Termest.
I cannot possibly imagine what the beef could be.
So somehow there's beef. They want to 1v1 the order, and then they also want to 1v1 Aurora, which I think spawns back to a treasure. Is that the way I have it? So they have some beef with Aurora because of a treasure steal. And I think that's about it. So it couldn't get everyone on board. Hannah was like, F this, I'm out. Aurora steals treasure. There's beef there. Somehow there's beef with the order. Yada, yada. Oh, someone pinged me. Hang on. What is it?
It was just Arctic trying to provide some more information.
Oh, okay. Arctic's always in the know. I will leave the order to hit whoever you just said. I don't know what AA, but fuck it. That was because Kev suggested no beef. They're similar in size. That's all. Okay, so there's no beef with the order. They just are similar in size and want to use this practice to do a 1v1. All right. Cool. But,
so Tyrion, does TLE just go around finding excuses to have problems with people? James says yes. Okay.
He says, yeah, there's a reason why they're no longer in Swamp.
Gotcha. Okay. So, Vice, do you have a favorite part of the logs?
For me, I think the 1v1 thing is kind of funny. Like, I appreciate that they are willing to do like a 1v1 AA fight, but it's just one of those things that with the whole game being tense and, you know, if we were to say, yeah, Aurora, go ahead and 1v1 them, like at that time, it could potentially open us up if they're getting dumpstered on or vice versa, you know what I mean? Or they're depleting their resources going for it. It just goes back to one of those things that everyone now operates as a block. There's occasionally some AA alliances that have intermingling wars, but in general, I think everyone now works as a block. And so you're just not going to see a whole lot of 1v1s now unless they're more or less premeditated, which in their credit, it seems like they were kind of wanting it. So, you know, more power to them if they're willing to reach out and go, hey, we're down for a 1v1. I think that's kind of cool, but I don't think most blocks would go for that.
Yeah. Which is unfortunate. I wish there was more mobility within blocks.
Yeah, when we were on Morph Radio, it was just kind of, we were getting dogged on as an Oasis for being war untested. And while I might, by definition, agree with how they were defining it, because technically Oasis hasn't been in a war, and I think you and I would both agree that KT and Oasis was a relatively large conflict. I wouldn't consider that a block experience war. That was one alliance versus many, and it just is, any person can just say, hey, go attack KT and get similar results. But in general, I think
it was something, but yeah, it wasn't a war.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there was like some spy working on the nukes and stuff like that. Honestly, I felt like a majority of it was us just working on spy stuff. But as far as them saying Oasis is unproven, I totally get what they're coming from. But every single alliance in Oasis that I can think of, and again, I'm going off recollection because I am newer, has been in a global war or multiple, and it's pretty easy if you have a designated Milcom guy to just kind of set things in motion. So,
gotcha. All right.
No, I wasn't giving you crap about not, spending time on the leaks. It was just funny. I was making a joke how we were sitting here, and I'm from Kentucky, and I see it all the time of hilarious stickers. Like today I saw this huge, same thing, a bro truck, and it said "Dirty Hands, Clean Money." So I guess he's like a tradesman by craft or something like that, and then had this huge truck that was like pristinely clean. And it's just stuff like that you see all the time.
Yeah, it's funny. I probably should have had more to say about the logs, but I read them hours ago, and usually whenever I read something, I just kind of skim through them, so I couldn't remember a lot of the finer details.
I think we're all still chewing on it as well too. I mean, it's just one of those things that like you're not sure how it's going to play out. Like I totally expected potentially there to be something happen 2 hours ago, and I think everyone's like, "Oh shit," and they've taken a step back, and they're just waiting to see what happens.
Yeah, and
There-
so I mean, go on, Zig.
I feel like there was not enough time between when the leaks were posted and Game Change to actually mobilize anything. Because can you imagine trying to get a whole bunch of random members mobilized like right now? Go.
Oh, that's how it was with KT for us. Like it was literally KT in 25 minutes, and we were like, "Oh shit!" And there was like some back work done before then, but it was pretty much hey, here we go, day change, and we went at it. But I honestly would be surprised if there's a war that comes out of this. Again, I don't know anything, but I think there's going to be some changes in Swamp. I mean, if we were to sit here and Oasis and dog on another alliance, like people were talking about FARC, like I don't know anything about FARC really. I've talked to them in embassies, and when we talk to them, are incredibly nice people. But for someone to sit there and kind of hit up their own ally like that, we all have beef with people that are in our, not beef, but we all have maybe small criticisms with people that, and again, people probably have them with TFP, but to like vote and then kind of really hesitate on your allies like that, it just is a little concerning. And, I hope that they work it all out and get it together, but this was pretty spicy for today.
Yeah, it was good. Shifty pulls through again with another great leak.
SNN doesn't come out often, but when it does, man, it comes out.
It does. So, I don't know. Vice, do you have anything more you want to add about the leaks?
Nah, you can mute me. I need to go to bed. Morph had me up late last night.
Yeah, I'm going. Yeah. Oh, what did y'all talk about on the show last night? I didn't tune in for that one. Anything particular?
It was, we talked a little bit about the cam moving over, and everyone was saying that they understand why it happened, but they didn't think it needed to happen. That was the general consensus. And then they were saying that, again, I already talked about it, that people think Oasis is unproven because we haven't had a war together, and so therefore we're an unknown quantity. And then we talked about the new block that was created. So you have Task Force Delta, which is the Soldiers of Liberty, United Armies, Stratosphere Marine Corps, and Brotherhood Family, and all the protectorates, where there's like 7 or 9 of them, have spawned out. And I think that was, for the most part, the main content right there.
It was really spicy in the beginning. I honestly
Lefty came out swinging.
Yeah, he did. It was amazing. That was good content.
We appreciate that, and I tried not to interject a lot and let Kaz have, because Kaz, he's been around a long time and he's spent a lot of time in TFP and he knows the history. He spent time in dial-up. I haven't had to experience a lot of those things, and Kaz is a facilitator. I'm not, and so he knows a lot more of the happenings that go on, and so it's easier for me to sit here and have interjections, but I do appreciate that Lefty comes out and he's open and honest, and I think that's really great, and I think that's sort of what Morph was designed for, but without basically dragging on Thalmor Radio another hour and getting into the same things. It was people being completely honest with their opinions on Cam coming to Oasis, and I think Epi touched on why they wanted to come here, and it makes sense for us to, like, I don't get everyone was upset because we cut more score. I think it ended up being we cut 450,000 score after you added back in the cam weight, and then it was something like 300 or 400 members, maybe more. And everyone's like, you didn't need to do that. Grow your own members, but most of the training alliances in the entire game are in Oasis. Most of the newer players are still in Oasis, but what's the point of having 1,000 ankle biters when you go to a war and half of them can't even find slots? Like, that is the ultimate definition of dead weight. Anyone here would probably do that similar move if they had the two options put in front of them. Like, it doesn't make sense for us if we were to go ever fight, let's say, again, just because I was using Rose earlier, Rose Sphere, for us to have 1,000 C8s to their 250. Like, at that point, half of the alliances are just twiddling their thumbs. So why not either A, let them spawn off into their own block, or let them go and buff up the lower tiers of other blocks so that way we can have better lower tier wars that are more even.
And I've said this before, I don't think Oasis is particularly threatening because it's what you said. It's a bunch of small members. And a little bit of shade, your average Oasis member probably isn't the best fighter around either. So if anyone is upset over Oasis's size, I think they need to. I think it's a bit of a bitch move.
I think what makes us strong right now is we're new. We're in the honeymoon phase. We're all slapping asses in the locker room. We're all getting along really well, which I think is part of having your shit together. And so militarily, I think it's easy to just, at the end of the day, this is a spreadsheet. It's an Excel spreadsheet. And so 90% of the wars for people C20 and under, let's just say, are, hey, here's a list of alliances. Use the war command in your bot or go manually in game to this alliance and attack a member that is in range. And that's it. And like, that is the extent of it. Again, more blocks that are more organized may have more in tune details, but Oasis before Cam came, we had so many nations that it's basically, if we were to ever go to war, hey, march in this direction. And that's the extent of it. And so by refining down, getting things together a little bit more, and you're right, at that C20 and less range where we were incredibly strong, it just doesn't take that much. And so I like that we as a block are becoming more balanced. And I agree with you. I think that there's some big names in TFP, but I don't think that we are. I think people look at us on the treaty web and they are more intimidated than maybe they should be, or maybe if we go to war with them, they will be pleasantly surprised with how we perform. I would rather underpromise and overperform than overpromise and underperform.
Yeah, that's completely fair.
So, but no, that's it.
Please don't slap my ass.
I do what I want.
All right. Well, thank you, Vice, for coming on. I appreciate it. And I think I'm about to end out the show now. So, final call for everything. Politics and war, real life, anything else I need to cover before I go ahead and close out the show? You cannot ask what's in the attic, though. I cannot share that information. Mama Thalmor is pretty good. She is pretty good. She misses you, James. You need to pay her a visit. All right. Well, that's it for me for tonight. I want to finish the first season of Better Call Saul and eat some Chick-fil-A. I got this 30-piece I need to work on tonight. So that's it. Y'all have a good night. Come out next Friday and let's have a good time. Peace. Play out the theme, Arctic.